How's it going, everyone? Bobby Digital here, bringing you another gameplay video. This time I'm bringing you something different. I'm going to bring you some Elite Dangerous game preview video. This is a game that's in game preview on Xbox One. It was currently on PC. It's been out for a while on PC. It's coming as a preview game. You can buy it now for half price as a preview game. It's kind of like Steam Early Access. It's a space sim. It's a hardcore space sim. It's kind of like an MMO, so you can find other people online doing stuff in space. It's very simmy, so it's very hard to get a handle on, especially the controls. So these videos I'm going to put forward are going to be guides on how to play this game, how to go about the basics, how to then maybe start traveling, then combat, then trading, then doing missions. So just to get everybody started, because I really would like to see this game do well on Xbox. It's a phenomenal game on the PC, and I just want to see it do well. They just announced planetary landings where you can find planets and just land on them and explore and do combat and even bring other friends on the same planet. It sounds really cool, and as it is right now, it's very bare bones. It's like I said, it's hard to get into. So I hope I can make it easy for some people. So let me just show you some of the basics and the sensors on your ship and some of the the systems that are going on. Give you a better handle on it. So what we're looking at right here is my ship, the Viper. It's kind of like the cop car of spaceships. Goes very fast. Can catch things fast. It can escape fast. It has good turning. Not as good as some ships, but it's mostly about speed. Has a few good weapons on it, some medium weapons and some small weapons. It's mainly for bounty hunting. Okay, so let's check out how you play this game. Okay, so if you want to actually, there's a lot of side panels on your cockpit. There's some things up top there on the left, which is the comms panel. If you want to go ahead and use your look view, so you can look side to side and up and down, even follow ships if they're going off to the side if you're dogfighting. What you do is you click the right stick on the Xbox controller, and that enables you to turn your head. So you can look left. If you look left in a certain position, you can bring up the left panel. Bring up the right panel. You can also check out they have they have an info tab here. They have the comms panel. So if there's any people, like real players online that are in your same vicinity, you can talk to them. You can text them. You can even invite them to a wing if you have friends on there, and so on. This little panel over here to the left is your target panel. Okay. This panel over here is your kind of like your kiosk. Whenever you go into a station, you can take advantage of the station services and stuff like that. This panel to the right here, where you see the ship with the blue rings, that's your ship. The blue rings around it are your shields, and the health bar below it is obviously the ship's health in the hull. Okay, a little bit to the right is your systems panel and your power panel. Okay, so if you let me get to the surface and I'll show you exactly what that looks like in a second. But what you can do is put more power toward your systems, put more power toward your engines and your weapons. The more power you have in each of those, if you have more power in systems, your shield is stronger. More power to your engines, you'll go faster, and more power to your weapons, and you'll be able to shoot for longer. And the other panel to the right of that is your fuel. Mass lock means if you're near a massive, some kind of station or a massive ship, if you're too close to it, you can't really, travel or in hyperspace. You have to clear its mass lock. And you have landing gear. Obviously, that's deployed because we're landing, and then your cargo scoop in case you're picking up cargo. Okay, so let's look at the panel to the right. First of all, this is your status panel. Well, it's the status column in the right panel. So it shows your rank for combat, trade, exploring. It shows you how much money you have. I currently have 1.4 million. But the rebuy cost is if you ever die in your ship, you can rebuy your ship with insurance for 24,000. It's not what the ship costs. The ship costs probably about 150,000, and I have some upgrades in it, so it's worth a little bit more than that. So I think it's like 5% of the cost of your ship they charge you. Okay, to a little bit to the right where it says reputation, You currently see I'm aligned with Zachary Hudson. I'll get into that later. That's Power Play. That's a whole different system in this game. But below it is Federation, Empire, and Alliance. Those are the three major factions in the game, and they are all at war with each other. Generally, I've only really seen Federation and Empire really going at it a lot of the times. I don't really see Alliance. Maybe I'm too far away from Alliance systems. Below it is system factions. Okay, so whenever you dock at a starport in a system, you'll usually find missions for each of these factions. So Ross 754 Labor, League of Ross 754 Order, all these people will try and give you missions for you to accomplish. And the more missions you do with these people, the higher their influence gets. And if they actually, and I'll show you that here to the right, this is their influence. The higher their influence, like for instance the League of Ross 754 Order, is at 30%. And it's rising. This guy right here, this group is at 34. So they're currently in the lead, but they're declining. So the more missions you do, the more they'll increase in influence and possibly take over the station. And then you'll see more missions available through them. You'll get more friendly with that particular group. And from what I understand, if they become really powerful, and I don't know what percentage it will be, but if they get higher up there in percentage and influence, they can actually build more starports and expand. Okay, so let's tab over to the right. This is modules. You can enable and disable these modules if you're actually like low on power, because these ships have a power plant, almost like a battery in a car. If you have too many things that are putting you over the limit of your power, you can disable some things. Also, disabling some functions here will actually make your ship run cooler. If you're trying to smuggle, I'll get into that later in another video. You got your fire groups. These are my pulse lasers, my cannons, and you can set your fire groups here. You got your kill warrant scanners. This is if you want to scan any targets for bounties that aren't in the system. If a player starts killing things outside of the system, they'll rack up a bounty, and if you can't see it, you have to have a kill warrant scanner to scan them. Frame shift wake scanner. This is if they travel into hyperspace, they'll leave a wake behind, and you can scan the wake to see where they went. And pulse lasers are on my fire group 1, which is my right trigger. Left trigger is fire group 2. Cargo. This is if you're transporting any cargo. You can see it here. I only have 4 cargo space. Functions are, you can do all these functions that are on the buttons. You can do them here. So you can do everything like a total sim and use your systems and your gadgets and your panels to function everything. So you can retract your landing gear and all that stuff. Okay, let's look at the system here, the panel here. This has your galaxy map here. I'll go into this really quick and show you what the galaxy map is. So right now I'm at Ross 754, and all these little dots in here are systems. And let me dig deeper into Ross to show you what the actual system looks like. You go to system map. It has 2 suns really close together. This is a station right here, down a gateway. In each of these systems, you can actually land at, and you can do the trade thing where you can buy goods cheap, sell them somewhere else at another system for more money. There's a few planets here. There's a bunch of moons. And it tells you a lot of the stuff about the system, like who it's controlled by, Federation, things like that, Alliance or Empire. So let's back out here and actually, so now you saw what was involved in the system that I'm in. Let me zoom out and show you how big this game is. Look at all these places. These are all systems. There's over 400 billion star systems in this game. 400 billion. That's a little hard to think of. Keep going out. Look at that. That's insane. All these little dots, and you can dive deeper in here. All systems. Everybody talks about what's that game? The one where you can land on planets and it has a lot of systems. I forget what it's called. It's coming out for the PlayStation. But this game, I think it has probably more systems in it than that game does. But anyway, so let's back out of this galaxy map. Galactic Power is here is for the power play. That's something I don't have time to get into it in this video, but it has to do with your power play. You can pick and you can align with a certain power play leader. I'm aligned with Zachary Hudson. Let's forget about that for right now. Let's go, and actually if you tab to the right here under locations, these are all the different places you can visit in Ross 754, the system that I'm in. Is Northrop Orbital. That's the starport that I'm in. Okay, there's a bunch of other starports here you can find, like Bardeen platform. Tab over to transactions. This shows you any missions you have currently available. You can find their drill down for info in there. Tells you if I have any bounties that I can claim in certain like the Alliance Cremain free, whatever the hell that is. It also tells me I've accrued a $12,000 credit fine in Brawny. I must have done something I wasn't supposed to do. But it has a day, so it has days that it's active. So if I wait and don't go back in there, it'll actually drop off. So tab over to contacts. This shows you your contacts. You can select ships here, and I want to show you this is cool. So I'm going to select this adder, right? Now if I tab over to sub targets, sorry, it'll bring you a list of targets I can target on the ship. It's not retrieving it here because I think we're docked, but it'll show like drive, frameshift drive, shield. I can target individual systems on a ship. If I don't want to necessarily kill him, and maybe I don't want to disable him, I'll just go for his drives, and that'll make his drives malfunction, and he'll be dead in the water. Or if I want to like aim for his power plant, which is like his core reactor on his ship, I can actually make him prematurely explode before he even loses all his health, because I could possibly make that power plant malfunction. I could also tab over to cargo and see any cargo that he has in his bay if I had a cargo scanner. So let's go ahead and return to surface. I'm going to show you some basics of flight and how they work and with the controls. Okay, and if you ever want to get out of this camera look view, you just click the right stick in again. It'll bring you back centered. Okay, so now let's go ahead and we're going to launch. Now if you want to take off, you push up on the right stick and it'll thrust you up. Okay. If you want to lower yourself, pull down on the right stick and you'll lower. Okay. And if you want to your left and your right, you just your left by pushing left on the right stick, and your right by pushing right on the right stick. Okay. Go ahead and hit right bumper, hold it in to accelerate, and left bumper to bring your speed down to decelerate. You can see it on the right hand side of the radar. You can see that little needle moving up. That's my power. If you bring it kind of toward where the needle is blue, that is your optimal turn rate speed. Okay, so whenever you're in combat or in a dogfight, try and put it in there and leave it there. Okay, now we're gonna go ahead and lower landing gear, which is you hold the B button in and you press down on the D-pad. You can see that little menu. Every button, if you hold in, brings up some new options. Okay, so we're gonna bring down the D-pad. I'm sorry, bring down the gear. So now if you press left on the stick, you'll roll left. Press right on the left stick, and you'll roll right. Okay. And obviously, if you push the nose down, you push forward on the left stick. Pull the left stick back, and you'll pull your nose up. Okay. If you let's see, hold B button in, you got your ship lights. Open your landing gear, all that stuff. Camera preview, where you can actually look at your ship externally. Actually, let's see if we can target this ship here, and I'll show you the target systems that I was talking about. Sub-targets and all that stuff. Actually, he's landing. But there you go. You can see you can target his individual systems on his ship. Okay, and if you actually aim your nose of your ship at him, you can scan him and find out more information on the ship. That's pretty much how you scan a target. Okay, and actually you can see on my radar, you can see the orange square there that has some dots next to them, or some parentheses, whatever you want to call it. That's the ship I have selected. Okay, so I can go ahead and hold A, and that brings up the target menu, and I can go cycle next ship by hitting left on the D-pad, and it'll bring up the next ship. Okay, you just keep doing that. And if you see targets on your radar that are hollowed, they look like just like an outline of a box, that's a human player. And any dots you see in green, that's a friendly, and any dots you see in red, those are hostile targets. Okay, so we hold the A button in, and you got your cycle next hostile ship, stuff like that. Okay, press X to bring your guns out. Okay, press X again to retract your guns. Press and hold X in to bring up a menu here where you can actually like press left on the D-pad to look at the left panel. Hold it in. Press right on the D-pad to look at the right panel. I don't bother with all that stuff. You can actually cycle your next fire group, which would be if you have more than one fire group of weapons on there, you can do that. Pressing down looks at your radar. Okay, now Y would you generally be for if you want to enter hyperspace. You just tap Y. I'll show you that later when we go traveling. But you can open your galaxy map. You can enable frame shift drive here. You can enable silent running, disable flight assist. I'll show you that all that stuff in a separate video where we do combat. What else did I miss here? Okay, so if you look at this panel right here to the right of my ship's icon, my systems panel where I was telling you how you can manage the power of your ship. Right now I have 4 blips into systems and 2 into engines. That means I have the most power into my shields. I'm much harder to kill with my shields. That much power put into them. So if I wanted to go all weapons and summon like engines, I just hit the right on the D-pad and put more dots into my weapons. Okay, and then I put more there that way. 4 into my engines by pushing up on the D-pad, or you can press down to balance it all out. That's generally where you want to be when you're in combat. You want to be in a balance. If you're getting killed and you want to take off fast, maybe you put it in engines. Or if you're close to somebody and you just want to duke it out with them, maybe you put it all into systems and your shields and maybe some into your weapons. Okay, but you get the gist. And if we hold, let me see here, I'm going to show you the comms panel. Let's go up there with the comms panel, hold X in and press up to get to comms panel. You can see I can text in here. Okay, or I can tab over and I can see my friends that I have online. I can actually send them a text chat, voice comms, all that stuff. Okay, now let's tab over. If he sent me a message, I could grab the message there and all that stuff. Okay, so that's pretty much it for oh, one more thing too. If you tap the B button, you will engage your afterburners. Okay, and now also let me show you one more thing about flight assist disabled. If you hold Y in and disable flight assist, you disable your fly-by-wire system, and you can actually keep flying in that direction and flip your ship around in a 180. So in case there's somebody behind you and you want to do a quick flip around maneuver and shoot them, you can do that, and then tap it again to re-enable flight assist. But basically what it is you turn off control of your ship and it keeps flying in that direction and you can do fancy maneuvers. Okay, but that's it for this part of the tutorial. I'll be back again maybe tomorrow. I'll bring you guys some basic navigation and show you how to fly from system to system. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed the video. Bobby Digital signing out.